What's up, y'all? It's your boy Big C back here with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a 2020 NBA Redraft. We are now about 1 month into the NBA season, and some NBA rookies have been disappointing a lot of people, and some have been playing out of their minds and surprising almost everybody in the world. I'm going to be redrafting picks 1 through 10. Let me know down in the comments below what you disagree with me on and who you think I snubbed out of this list. Right now, we're on the road to 100 subscribers. Every video I post, we keep getting closer. Go down below, hit the sub button, share this video with your friends, and like the video so that we can keep going to 100 subscribers, because I got something special planned for you guys when we get to 100 subscribers. And let's get into the video. The criteria I have for this list is I have 3 different things that I'm going to be drafting these players on. I'm going to be drafting them on their potential, the team that's drafting them, their fit with that team, what that team needs, and I'll be drafting them based on how they've played so far in this 2020 NBA season. We're going to start with pick 10 from the Phoenix Suns, who are going to be drafting Isaac Okoro out of Auburn, who was originally drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Isaac Okoro started the season with playing a couple games, and he played perfectly fine. Nothing special, nothing fantastic, but he's playing fine and good defense. But then he got injured, and so he missed a couple games, but now he's back, and he's still playing decent. Isaac Okoro hasn't played as well as many people expected him to do, only averaging 8 points per game, 2 assists and 2 rebounds, and a steal per game while shooting very bad efficiency from the field. Isaac Okoro's days at Auburn may have translated well to the NBA, but so far we haven't seen that, and I hope he picks it up because Isaac Okoro was a very, very fun player to watch in college, and he could be one of the best young defenders in the NBA. The Wizards have been a train wreck so far this season, with Russell Westbrook not having a good season, Bradley Beal having the greatest season of his career, yet all of his teammates just can't do anything at all, and Thomas Bryant just getting injured. A lot of people expected the Washington Wizards to make the playoffs this year, and right now, they're looking like what the Knicks have been for the past couple years, and that is in no way a compliment. But with this 9th pick, I have the Washington Wizards selecting Patrick Williams, who has fallen all the way from pick 4 to pick 9. He was originally selected by the Chicago Bulls on draft night. Patrick Williams was considered to be one of the best defenders in the draft going on to draft night, and he's played amazing defense for the Chicago Bulls this season so far. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see a way Patrick Williams would be drafted this high up if the draft were to happen today. He just hasn't been that fantastic, and though he's averaging 10 points per game, 4 rebounds, while shooting 48 from the field, 50 from 3, and 87 from the line, which is absolutely blowing his college stats out of the water efficiency-wise, he just hasn't been a number 4 overall pick talent, and I hope he picks it up soon because I saw great potential in him coming out of college, and so far he just hasn't shown that. With pick 8, I have the New York Knicks selecting one of my favorite players in the NBA, Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard was originally selected by the Boston Celtics with a 26th pick, and he has been an absolute steal for the Boston Celtics so far. My biased Boston Celtics fan may be coming out right now, as a lot of people say, oh my gosh, Boston fans are so biased. And you're absolutely right. You won't see a day in my life where I'll tell you someone like Joel Embiid is better than Jason Tatum, and that's my complete biased opinion. You have perfect reason to think somebody like Joel Embiid is better than Tatum, but you'll never hear me saying that in my life. And that's one of the few things that I'm very biased on when it comes to the NBA. But I have the New York Knicks selecting the point guard that was originally selected by the Boston Celtics with the 8th pick in the NBA draft. Peyton Pritchard has been playing great defense so far for the Boston Celtics, and he's been playing amazing on offense too. The Boston Celtics were worrying a lot about where our offense off the bench would come from this season, and Peyton Pritchard has been that offense. Off the bench, he's averaging 8 points per game, 3 assists, and he's shooting 50, 40, 90 for a rookie. No rookie in the NBA has ever shot 50, 40, 90 from the field, and Peyton Pritchard is on pace to become the first ever to do it. Peyton Pritchard has played absolutely amazing this season, and if the Boston Celtics want to make a deep run in the playoffs, he could be key for their bench success. With the 7th pick in the NBA draft, I have Tyrese Maxey being selected by the Detroit Pistons at pick 7, who was originally selected by the 76ers in the early 20s of the 2020 NBA draft. Tyrese Maxey has been an absolute bucket for the Philadelphia 76ers so far off their bench, and in the past years, Philadelphia hasn't had much instant offense outside of Joel Embiid, and this year with players like Seth Curry, Danny Green, and Tyrese Maxey, they're finding that instant offense, and that's what's leading them to be one of the best teams in the East this season. Tyrese Maxey is averaging 10.5 points per game, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists while shooting 46% from the field for the 76ers off their bench this season. Tyrese Maxey isn't shooting amazingly from 3, shooting under 30%, But we all know after seeing what he did in Kentucky that he will eventually pick that up. And Tyrese Maxey slingshotted himself all the way from being picked in the 20s in the original 2020 NBA draft to me thinking he's a top 7 NBA player out of this 2020 NBA draft class. With the 6th pick in the NBA draft, I have the Atlanta Hawks, who originally selected Onyeka Okongwu out of USC, selecting Tyrese Halliburton out of Iowa State. Tyrese Halliburton fell all the way to pick 12 in the original NBA draft, and he's just been absolutely phenomenal for the Sacramento Kings this season. Tyrese Halliburton, he's been arguably a top 3 player on their team this season behind players like De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield. So far this season, off the bench of the Sacramento Kings, he's been averaging 11 points per game, 5 assists, and shooting 50% from the field, 50% from 3, and 82% from the line. Tyrese Halliburton has been playing out of his mind, and he's the reason that the Sacramento Kings are competitive in a lot of the games they play. When Tyrese Halliburton has missed games this season, the Sacramento Kings have not been competitive, and Tyrese Halliburton is one of the reasons that I believe that they were not competitive in those games. Entering the top 5 in my NBA redraft, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers selecting Obi Toppin at pick number 5. Obi Toppin fell all the way to pick 8 in the original NBA draft, but I think that Obi Toppin, if he were to be getting more minutes on the New York Knicks right now, he would be in the Rookie of the Year race. He's only playing 12 minutes per game, but he's still managing to put up around 5 points per game with 2.5 rebounds and 2.5 assists. And although he isn't shooting it the most efficiently in the world, he isn't really getting his chance to shine on this New York Knicks team, who have been mediocre for the first time since Carmelo Anthony was on their team. Although for their future, playing the young players might be the best idea for them, New York Knicks fans haven't seen a good season out of their team in years, and this season is looking like they could be a fringe playoff team this year. With the 4th pick in my 2020 NBA redraft, I have the Chicago Bulls selecting the wing Deni Avdija, who was originally selected by the Washington Wizards with pick 9 in the NBA draft. Deni Avdija hasn't gotten much playing time with the Washington Wizards this season for whatever reason. Whatever happened in Washington, like I said earlier, is just a travesty, and Washington's franchise is just doing everything wrong for their now and their future right now, and hopefully they can pick it up soon, because right now they're looking like one of the worst teams in the NBA along with the Detroit Pistons. If Deni Avdija were to be selected by the Chicago Bulls like he did, the Chicago Bulls could have been a better team than they are this year. Right now, on the Wizards, Deni Avdija is averaging 7 points per game, 4 rebounds, a steal, and he's shooting 46% from 3. He's shooting as an amazing clip from 3, but he just isn't getting much playing time on the Wizards for whatever reason. What's happening in Washington right now makes absolutely no sense, and although the Chicago Bulls franchise isn't doing much better record-wise, I have a feeling that if he were on Chicago, he'd be getting solid playing time, and he'd be growing as a player, and they would be growing as a franchise together. Entering the top 3 in this 2020 NBA redraft, I have the obvious 3 players that you would think. I have the Charlotte Hornets taking Anthony Edwards out of Georgia with the 3rd pick. Originally, Anthony Edwards went 1 to the Minnesota Timberwolves, but Anthony Edwards has just played okay so far this season when many people expected him to come out and alongside D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns to lead them to the playoffs. He is averaging around 12 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists, but he is shooting absolutely terribly efficiency-wise. He just hasn't been very good so far for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and neither has players like Karl Anthony Towns or D'Angelo Russell. So far this season, the only bright spot on this team has been Malik Beasley, and if he's the best player on your team so far, which so far he has played this season, even though we know D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns are both better players than him, your team is in a very bad spot. Anthony Edwards hasn't been able to do much to help them, and I believe if he was on the Charlotte Hornets next to players like Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, and their center duo of Cody Zeller and Bismack Biyombo, that he could be putting up even better stats this season. And although the Hornets probably wouldn't be very competitive, I do think that he would have his time to grow, and I think he could even make a push for the Rookie of the Year this year if he was on the Charlotte Hornets. For the 2nd pick in the NBA redraft, I have the Golden State Warriors taking the same player they took originally, and and James Wiseman out of Memphis. James Wiseman has been playing great for the Warriors so far this season, and I don't see the Warriors passing up on him this time for any other play in the draft. He's been averaging 11.5 points per game, 6 rebounds while shooting 50% from the field, and averaging 1.5 blocks per game. He's been playing great defense for the Warriors, and he's been providing a lob threat for players like Draymond Green and Steph Curry, which is something that they really needed this season with the loss of Klay Thompson. The Warriors have been playing okay as of late, and they've been picking up the pace. And although they started off this season really slow, they've been picking up the pace, and they could be a fringe playoff team in the Western Conference this year. I don't know if they will end up making it, but Steph Curry has been playing like an MVP this year, and since Draymond Green has been back, the Warriors have looked great, and I think James Wiseman just makes this team that much better, and I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up being a lower seed, and I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up making the Western Conference playoffs as a 7 or 8 seed. With the number 1 pick in my 2020 NBA Redraft, I have a pick that will surprise absolutely nobody in LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball, coming out of Australia this summer, had so much hype around him. He's one of the most hyped up players coming into the draft that we've seen in a long time, on par with players like Anthony Davis and Zion's hype coming out of college. LaMelo Ball, for some reason, is not starting in Charlotte, although Devontae Graham has just not been playing good for them this season. Last season, Devontae Graham was the Hornets guy, and I get starting him to start off this season, but he's just not been playing well, and LaMelo Ball has been playing absolutely fantastic for the Charlotte Hornets. For any Charlotte Hornets fan watching this video, come get your team, man. They need to be starting this man. He's a young superstar blooming right now. If he were to be drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves, although the fit would be questionable next to D'Angelo Russell, it can't be any worse than what's going on in Minnesota right now. LaMelo Ball may not provide much offense, but Anthony Edwards hasn't been either, and LaMelo Ball has just proven that he has been a better player than Anthony Edwards so far this season. And I think if the Minnesota Timberwolves had the chance, I think they would take LaMelo Ball in a heartbeat after seeing the start to their season right here. LaMelo Ball is averaging 11.5 points per game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal and a half, and he's shooting decently efficiently. To start the season, he started off really cold, but he has been playing absolutely phenomenal recently, and he even became the youngest player ever to record a triple-double just like a week ago. LaMelo Ball deserves to be the number 1 pick in this NBA draft, and I think any team who would have the number 1 pick, if they had the chance to draft today, I think 90% of teams in the NBA would end up picking LaMelo Ball if they had the chance to do so after seeing how he's played so far. This is my 2020 NBA Redraft. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about my picks. Let me know who you think I snubbed out of this and who you think I have up too high. I want you guys to come watch these videos right here. Go like the videos. I want you guys to sub to the channel down below because we're on the road to 100 subscribers. And when we get to 100 subscribers, I have a surprise for you guys that I think you guys will just absolutely love. But for now, this is your boy Big C, and we'll see you next time.